Hello everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time you're watching this. Today I have a tutorial for the master page program with the FormView control. Many people had requested me to do this, so I just thought of making a video on this. So first of all, I'll just show you the basic layout of this program. Then I'll show you the process and the functioning of the program, what the program does, and then we'll move on towards creating the program itself. So first of all, as you'll see, this is a normal page in the program where this is the form view control, and these three columns that you see are the part of the master page. If I open my master page right here, you can see the master page consists of these three columns, and the pages that I have will consist of the master page as its header, and the page will be located inside the master page like this. So first of all, before moving on, let me just run the program and show you what the program does. So as you will see here in the output, that if I run any page of the program, first of all I'll be redirected to the login page because I'm not logged in. So I'll also show you the code for this. Now if I log in using any valid credentials that are in the database, so yeah, the first prerequisite for this is you need to have a database set up. So as you can see, I'm redirected to a page where I can individually see each and every record for the entries in my database, which the entries which have an image will also show up with an image. From here on, I can press edit to edit the fields, any of the fields that I want. Then I can press delete to delete this record. Right now I don't want to delete this record, so I won't I'll show this to you later on in the video. And I have one mistake here actually, that the password is visible, which we will obviously change because the password should not be visible directly. I click on new and I can add a new record here. If I go to student details, here we can see the records of each and every student displayed using the repeater control, like this. And back to manage student, I'm redirected to the page where I can see it individually, and if I press on logout, I'll be redirected to the login page. So basically this is the whole process of the program. Now before you start coding, I will have my website folder in the description, so you can take the whole program from there. And apart from that, how will I proceed in this program is, first I will explain to you the working of the login page, then I'll show you about creating the master page, and then adding the pages inside the master page. So I will leave annotations on the video. If you want to skip to any part, even in the description I'll put the time marks. If you want to skip to any part, and if you know that this part is you are perfectly fine with, you know that part, so you are free to skip to any part that you want. So first of all, I would also like to point out that I will not code each and every line right now because that would take very much time. So I have pre-coded some things and I will copy paste it from the program, but I will explain everything to you to the best of my knowledge. So don't worry, you will be able to perform this program by yourself at the end of this video. So first of all, here you can see I have a folder set up. I have an image folder in which I have some images, the login page and the master page. So if I open the login page, the design view, you can see there's just a simple login page with username and password buttons. Forget the remember me next time. This is a whole different concept with cookies and everything, so we will not do that. You can see the two text boxes, username and password. Now the coding here is pretty simple on this. We are just checking if these username or password exist in the database. Now I would recommend you that you keep your database in the app data folder in the website. Now people ask me, why is this important, or is this compulsory? No, it is not compulsory, but how it helps is, if you see my connection string, this one, if you see the data source, it says equal to, there is a prefix called data directory / my database name. So what this does is, having the database in the app data folder will just create a prefix known as data directory in your connection string. Otherwise, how your connection string would look like is C users and then your directory names and everything. So if you copy this program and run it on another computer, like if you take my folder which I am posting with the video and you take it in your computer, and if you don't have the app data folder set up like this, then the problem would be it will try to find the database in your computer in a specified path instead of the data directory prefixed like this. So you might have to change the connection string. Now as far as this code goes, you can obviously skip right now directly to the master page. I'll leave a timestamp in the description. Otherwise, for those who have problems with the login page also, there is this two objects that I have taken. One is for the connection, OLEDB connection, to set up the connection, and the OLEDB command where I will write my actual query. Now for this you need to import two namespaces, that is system.data.oledb and the system.data namespace. Now this function is a user created function. We'll come back to that later on. Here the protected sub login button click. The login button is this button right here. As you can see, its ID is login button here. So when this button is clicked, this event will be fired. Now in this event, first of all, apart from taking an integer variable, we have called our con open function, which is this one. Now what does the con open function do? The connection object that is initialized here, we are every time making a new connection out of it. So why is this done? Is just to keep refreshing the database again and again. So the statement is as most of you might already know, con is equal to new OLEDB connection and the provider string. About getting this connection string, everybody knows that you just use your pre-established database and get the connection string from there. You can just add any SQL data source to the page and get the connection string from there. I will not show you this at this moment. It is further in the video. For the FormView control we are going to do this, so I'll just refer it from there. Now a simple statement of if else: if the connection dot state is closed, then we open it, or if it's open, we close it and open it again, and then we form our query. Now what we need to check is if the entered username and password do they match in the database or not. So a simple query where select count star, we are counting the number of rows that the database will return, and always, if because the username and password of two users both cannot match, so always this query will return exactly one row or nothing if the username and password do not exist. So this query that will be formed will be the select count star from my table name, where username like, in the like parameter I am passing the username.text. Username.text and the password.text are the name of my text boxes. As you can see, the ID given to them is username and this one is password, so I'm using that, like username.text and password like password.text. A simple SQL query, and we are passing the connection object with it. Do not forget to pass this connection object ever, because otherwise your program will make different kind of errors. Result is equal to cmd dot execute scalar. So using execute scalar here is just due to the use of the aggregate function count. So wherever you try and use an aggregate function, then use the method execute scalar, nothing else. Now this, as if I hover my mouse cursor over it, you can see it says that it executes the query and returns the first column of the first row in the result set. So as I said, in any case it is going to return only one row. So, and now if I am checking the condition, if result is greater than equal to 1, or I can directly check if it is equal to 1, then I am establishing the session with the username variable and setting it to username.text. Now what is a session? Session is basically an object that is assigned to a particular user during his or her login time and the logout time, between his or her login and the logout time. So it creates a session with the name of this variable username with the text in the username text box. So if I enter admin, then the session created is of admin, and likewise. Then I redirect my page to the page1.aspx. Now, before moving towards the page1.aspx, I will show you how to create the master page here. So what you will do is, any folder that you are working on, you will right click the folder, add new item, and go to the master page. Here I won't add it because I already have it, so I'll press cancel. If you're not working in any folder, you can directly right click on the website here, same thing. Now when you add the master page will be empty, and there will be nothing of this sort, any source code there, just these tags will be there: the ASP content placeholder, and the opening ASP content placeholder, my bad, and the closing content placeholder. So what this tag specifies, this tag says that whatever is written inside this will be contained as a part of the master page, as in, if I put any page as a child of my master page, then the coding of that page goes here. So I can just write down a comment here that the coding of the child page goes here. Alright, okay, I forgot this is not VB, so I'll have to comment it like this. Yeah, so coding of the child page goes here. Now how do I specify where this part displays on the page? So for that I have created a table. You can see this is a normal table with 2 rows and 2 columns. Here this TD has 20% width, while this TD has 80% width. This TD has 3 link buttons, and this TD right here, if you look, I have placed this TD around the content placeholder. So basically what I'm saying is that the 4th column that I have here, or you can say the 2nd column in the 2nd row that I have here, will become a placeholder for all my child pages. So any child page that I include with this master page, the coding of that will appear in this part. So that's why I coded it around I coded the TD tag around the content placeholder tag. I think I am clear with how this should go, and I'm not gonna explain all the table tags and how do you create this layout, because it's quite pretty simple. You just create 2 rows, 2 columns, add the image like this with the image control, then add the heading in the next column, and 3 link buttons in the first column of the 2nd row. So after adding the link buttons, I will come back to what is postback URL. Basically it determines the page that you want to redirect to. Now coming to the main part, that is adding a child page for the master page. So what you do is just right click, add, go to new item, and add a normal web form. Now when adding that normal web form, do not forget to check this checkbox that says select master page. Now I'll just name this page 1. I'll add it. Now as you can see, it is asking me to choose a master page. Now I'm working currently in the master page tutorial folder, so I will choose the master page from here. Now as you can see in the design view, already the master page is set up, and it says that whatever I'm going to do here is going to be placed here due to the content placeholder that I have placed in the master page. So ignore this head content placeholder that has the ID head and work inside this, that is the content placeholder 1. Now starting with the main part of this video, that is the form view control. So the form view control is there in the data tab, and you just drag and drop it inside the code here. Now as you can see, as soon as I drop it, it has nothing on the screen of any sort. So what do I need to do is I need to connect it to a database, and after I connect it to a database, there will be different templates formed inside the form view control. Like, you do not have to code anything if you want to edit, delete, or insert a new record. It does it automatically for us. So I'll show you how it's done. So I'll go to this little arrow here, I'll choose the data source, new data source, SQL database. I already have the connection string set up, otherwise you can always go to the new connection string. This is the part where I was talking about getting the connection string. You copy it from here and then paste it in the OLEDB connection part in the login page if you didn't know how to get the connection string. So I got the connection string. Next, I'm going to select the table. Right now we'll work on the student table. Now always remember this, go to the advanced and click on generate, insert and update delete commands. So what this does is it automatically generates the select, insert and update command, even the delete commands for you. So how is this helpful? That you don't need to code anything on the edit, delete and the new buttons that were there on the FormView control. It directly generates the coding, and even if you want to make it according to you, like you want to tweak it according to your needs, then I'll also show you how you can do that. So okay, next, and even if I want to test the query, then I'll finish. Now as you can see here in the FormView control, I have my column name and its value, column name and its value. It automatically got all the columns that there were there, and it will bind the value to it. Now if I always also remember to enable paging from here. So if you enable paging, you can navigate between the records, otherwise you will be only able to see just a single record that you have logged in with. Now in the source you will see that this whole template thing has appeared below the FormView control. So what this does is, whenever you bind the data source with the FormView control, it automatically generates three templates. That is the item template. Item template is when you just run the program and you want to display everything. Then there's the insert item template. That is the template which is fired when you click on the new link button. New is this one. When you click on new, the insert item template is in the works, and the edit item template is when you click the edit button. There is also a delete item template here, but there is no item template for it specifically because we are not showing anything on the screen. We are just deleting that record from the database. So now if I run this program right now, you'll see that if I just directly run this, right now we haven't yet coded the part where we will be redirected to the login page, so we will be shown on the first page directly. So I'll also show you how to do the coding for the login page. Now if I navigate, I am able to navigate from record to record. If I delete it, I'm also able to delete it. Even if I edit the record, I change the student name, I click on update, and you can see it is updated. I will insert a new record. I'll give any roll number of my choice, then name ABC, ABC, ABC. The photo I'll leave empty right now, and if I click on insert, you can see there is this record is already inserted in the database now. It's right here. It was on number 2 actually. So roll number 9, ABC, ABC, ABC. So we didn't do any line of code, not a single line of code we had to do, but we already have the whole thing set up. But apart from this, like you can also leave it at this spot because you already have the edit, delete and the new functionality all done. So you can leave the program at this place, but it doesn't look good, nor the UI is as per the preference of any user which might want to use your program. So what you do is, first of all, as you can see in my item template, the photo is displayed as a text box, which I do not want, because I want my photo to be displayed in a image control, so I can see what kind of profile picture that particular user has. So what I will do is, I'll navigate to the item template. Now here you will see that the roll number label and the label is binded with in the text property we have used this function called eval. So what eval does, you will see bind here and eval here. So what does this eval do? Basically the eval function takes the argument as the column name from your database, and it brings the value associated with that column name on that row to towards to the property which it has been set to. For example, we have set it to the text of the label, so it will bring the roll number, the current roll number, and it will show it up on the text of the label. So if the roll number is 5, it will show 5, and likewise. And same way, there is the bind function is there. Now the difference between bind and eval function basically is used to display some value which you are not going to change, and the bind function is used to display values that are you are going to change. How did the program know that I have to display the roll number in eval and the student name in bind? Well, because the roll number is my primary key in my database, so the program knows that I'm never going to change my primary key in the database for a record. If the roll number is 5, then it is going to stay 5. I'm not going to change the primary key of that particular record. So it has it has binded it using the eval function, and the others are binded using the bind function. So basically that is the only reason why eval and bind are differentiated. Now same way, the st name, your username, password, and the photo is brought up here. Now I don't want the photo displayed as a label, but I want the photo, the path of the image displayed as an image control. So I will take the image control from the toolbox. I'll drag and drop it here. Now in the image control, there is a property called image URL. I'll set it to the same thing the photo text box has been set to. Now remember to use single quotes when using the bind or the eval function, because double quotes will treat it as a static string. We don't want that. Now I'll set this visible equal to false, because I don't want to see the text box anymore. I don't want to see the path to the image anymore. I directly want to see the image displayed on the web page. So when I click run, yeah, as you can see, the image is too big. So for example, we will have to set the height and width of the image. So I'll give it a height of 100 pixels and a width likewise 100 pixels. Alternate text I'll give to like no image or something. And now if I run the program, the image will be displayed of the with the appropriate size. Now for the records which do not have a link to an image, obviously no image would be displayed, and otherwise the image will be displayed like this. Now we have the image here in the item template, but if I click on edit, again the image is shown as a text box inside the photo. I don't want this. I want a browse button. I want a file upload control here, that if I upload a file, the file should be shown here as an image, and then the update query should be fired inside the database. So what I will do is, I won't change a thing here. In the edit item template, I won't change anything here, because if I change this binded value from here, then what it will do is, because if I remove this whole line from here, then it will directly affect the update query, because I'll show you how the update query actually works. Even if we have not coded anything, choose the SQL data source from here. I'll go to the update query. This is the query that the program has formed on its own for us. So what does it say? Update student, set name, username, password, and photo equal to all equal to question mark. The parameters will be provided dynamically where roll number is equal to question mark. So what does the photo value do? The photo by default takes the value from the text box of the photo, and it passes it to the value here. So if we remove the text box completely, then the problem will be it won't know where to take the value from. So what we will do is, we will keep the text box as it is, the photo text box as it is. On top of that, I'll add an image control. I'll take the bind, I'll pass it to image URL. Again, use single quotes. So now what has happened? The text box is still there. The image URL contains the URL of the photo to be binded. Now again, I'll set this visible as false, because even if though it is there, I don't want to see it on the screen. And again, I'll set the height and the width of this image so it doesn't spread across the screen. Alright. So now, but still there is one problem, like we still do not have the upload image button. The image is being shown but the upload image is not there. So I'll grab a file upload control and I'll simply keep it here. But again, there is still one other problem. The file upload control is there, the image is there, but we haven't linked the file upload control to the image and to the text box. Because understand, if, let's say, I'll open a notepad and show you, if my file upload control, the user, from this the user selects an image called abc.jpg, but my image URL from the image control still has the old image which was there from the database. So it is still has the old jpg, but I need to update it to abc.jpg. And likewise, because in my update query it is using the text box, this photo text box, this id you can see here, photo text box, I need to update the photo text box dot text also to the abc.jpg, because otherwise, even if the image URL shows, even only if I update the image control, then it will just show that okay, this new image is there, but I also want to update it into the database. So when, before the update query is fired, I need to change the text of the photo text box to abc.jpg. So when the update query is fired, it will say update set photo is equal to abc.jpg and not old.jpg, where roll number is whatever, like normal how the query is formed. So this is how the query will be formed. I want it to be formed like this, but I don't want to code any extra stuff. I want it to be done directly. So what I will do is, I'll take a button from here, I place it after the BR tag. I'll take this button, and on the click of this button, what I want to do, I want to do two things. The first thing is update the image control with the new image URL, which is from the file upload control. We are also going to save the image from the file upload control in our image folder right here, because we need it on the server side to be passed it to the image control. So first we will save the image uploaded in the file upload control to the image folder. Then we will give that URL of the image folder to the image control, and then we will pass that same URL to the photo text box, because we need the same URL to be updated into the database. So how will we go on about doing this is, it is pretty simple. Now if you want to access the click event of this button right here which you just placed, so obviously you can just go to the coding part and select the click event from here, like choose button 1, but you see, as you can see, the button 1 is not visible here. Why is that? Well, because the page here first has the form view control and all other controls are located inside the form view control. So basically you can say that the controls inside the form view control, whether it be the image control or the button control, they are hidden from the outside page. So now if you want to access the button click event of this button that you just placed, what you do is you click on this arrow here, then you go to edit templates. Now we just inserted that button in the edit item template, so I'll go to the edit item template. So here you can see I have the file upload control, even the button that I inserted. Now from here I can double click this button and I can open the button click event of the page. Now from here I'm just gonna copy the button click event from this page. I'll explain it to you, because if I code all this it will take too much time. Alright, so what I have done here, I'll show. See, first of all, I took a an object of all the things that I need from the form view control. From the form view control, I need to update the image control, the text box, and the file upload control itself. I'm gonna be working with the file upload control itself. So that's why I took an object of the file upload, the text box, and the image control. Now I need the file name as a string, so I took the file name as string. Now from here I'll cancel this. I'll move back to the normal view of the form view. Now as you can see, my form view right now currently has no ID set to it, so I cannot reference it from anywhere. So I'll just give it ID form view 1 fe1. Now what I need to do, I need to refer to the file upload control. Whatever the image that is uploaded in the file upload control, I need to refer to it. Now for referring it to it, as I previously mentioned, we do not have direct access to the controls placed inside the form view control. So this line I need to write, that is form view 1 dot find control, but I'll replace this form view 1 with fv1 because I just named my form view 1 with fv1. fv1 dot find control, which control I'm trying to find, file upload 1. Do check if your file upload control ID is file upload 1. Yep, it is file upload 1. So I'm trying to find the file upload 1, and then it still doesn't know what type of control it is, because every control is an object of some class. So I do need to cast it to file upload. So what I'm doing is I'm using the C type function to cast this into this. So basically first parameter is what you want to cast and in what type do you want it to cast, and then after casting it I'm directly supplying it to the fupload object that I just formed, which is of the file upload type. Now if fupload dot has file, if it is true, like if it has a file, then I'll get the file name from the method fupload dot file name. File name is equal to server dot map path dot slash image plus file name. So what this will do, server dot map path function basically binds the physical path of the whole directory structure with the virtual path which you are using. This is the virtual path, that dot slash image. Dot slash image means the current directory, dot represents the current directory. In the current directory, which is this my folder, in that directory I have a folder called image, and I want to save this uploaded image with the file name which it already has. So but I'm mapping that whole path using the server.map path. So internally the whole path formed will be C, users, projects, Visual Studio, the website name, the folder name, etc, etc. The whole path will be formed internally, but we don't want to form such a long path, so that's why we use server.map path. So after forming that path for this particular file name, I'm going to use the save as method of the file upload control to save that file at the location that I just specified right here. Then what I need to do, I need to update the image control. As I mentioned, I need to update this image control with the newly uploaded file from the file upload control. So for that, first of all, again, these steps you need to remember. For referring to a control in FormView, there are certain steps that you need to follow. First of all, you need to create an object of the control you want to refer to. So I need to refer to the file. I needed to first refer to the file upload control, so I created an object of the file upload control. Now I want to refer to the as I said, the image control, so I already created an object of the image control. Then after creating objects of it, you need to find that control in the form view. After finding that control, you need to cast it to the correct type. So these three steps you need to remember whenever you are trying to refer to any object or any control in the form view control. So what I did is I created an object of the image control. Then I use the FormView1.find. Again, my ID is fv1, so I'll use fv1 fv1.find control image2. I'll just check if that image is named image2. Yep, the ID is image2, and I want to cast it to what type, then that is image, and it will be transferred to the pick object which I have just created. Now I want its URL to be dynamically changed to the URL that I just specified in the file upload control. So pic.image URL is equal to the same thing where I saved the file. I saved the file using this virtual path. So directly I'll retrieve the file using that same virtual path. But here I cannot write it like this here, that directly I cannot write it file name, because now as you can see, this file name variable contains the whole physical path. The server.map path is appended to the file name, so this file name will contain the whole physical path, that is from the C drive to the end. So I don't need that, I just need the virtual path. So that's why I just said fupload.filename. So again, I'm just getting the file name from the file upload control and appending it to the virtual path that I just want in the image control. Now if you remember the third step that I said, I want this text box, the value of this text box to change as per whatever the new image that has been uploaded. So for that, again, I'll get the object of a text box class. Then again, I'll find that text box in my FormView control. Again, I'll check if the text box is named as photo text box. Yes, the ID is photo text box. So I'll find photo text box in my FormView control and I'll cast it to the text box type. Again, so this text box now is referring to that photo text box that we have, and its text I'll set it as .image slash .image slash fupload.filename, or you can just directly write equal to pic.image URL. Why is this? Because you just set this image URL to the path where which I am supplying here and here, so which is the same thing. So you can directly say that textbox.text is equal to pic.image URL, which is the same thing. The path is the same that I want to pass. So now whenever the update button is clicked, this text will be dynamically changed to the path specified from here, and whatever the update query that needs to be fired will be reflected in the database likewise. So basically this was the whole idea of the program. You can obviously do the same thing for the insert button. For the insert button, same way you can add a file upload control here and button and the image here. The same thing you have to repeat. Even the coding of this part will be same. You add a button and on that button you just code the same thing. I'll leave that to you. If you do have any doubts, then obviously you can contact me here or anywhere. Then same thing, so I'll leave that to you. And the delete, there is nothing to do in the delete part. It is directly it directly just takes the roll number as the where condition and it deletes any record depending on the roll number. Now if this process doesn't work for you by default, like say the edit, the new, the delete buttons are not working for you, so then what you need to do, then you need to code, I wouldn't even say code, but you need to set some parameters that are not already set. So for example, let's say the insert item template is not working for you, or let's say the edit item template is not working for you. So if the edit item template is not working for you, what you do is go to the SQL data source, find the property named as update query here. So this update query is already formed, but let's say the student name, it's not able to get the student name by default. So what you will do is go to the edit item template in your page, go to the edit item template and find the text box which contains, in the edit item template, find the text box which contains the name of the student right here. So I just copy the ID of this text box, I go back to the update query, here in the st name, just imagine it is not getting the value directly, so I will specifically tell it that from my form, the field id is this st name text box. You get the value from there, and you repeat it for every control if you want it: uname, password, photo, roll number, everything. For everything you pass the id of the respective text boxes to this, and for sure then the program is going to work. Yeah, there is no chance that it won't work even after doing all that, because what it does is it specifically specifies to the parameters that even if you cannot find what is to be updated or inserted, then I'm explicitly telling you that this is the id of the control that you are supposed to be looking for. So but by default FormView control is intelligent enough on its own to detect that. And I think basically this page is over, because there is nothing else to do. If you want to auto format and change the formatting of the whole control, then you can do it. You can also add tables here, like all this is just directly placed with the br tag. Instead you can add a table, add rows and columns to it to make it look nicer here, so you can do that. Otherwise this page, the everything on this page is done. Now we'll go to the second page, that is the student details page, which was displayed using the repeater control. Again I'll do the same thing: add new item, web form. I'll name this page 2, select master page again, and I'll select the master page from here. Okay, again we'll code inside the content placeholder part. Now I want a repeater control here, so I'll go to the data tab and repeater. Now by default repeater doesn't have anything, so you go to the design view, you just bind the data source, you choose the connection string. No need to make new connection strings every time. Just student here you don't need to generate any insert, update, delete command, so you can just directly press next and test query and finish it. Now when you do this, as you can see in the source, by default there will be nothing here. So do not get confused if because in the FormView control everything was there by default. It took the columns from the database and everything, and it directly placed it here. But as you can see in this one, in the repeater control, we do need to do some coding for it to display. So repeater control, just like the FormView control, works on templates. So the first template is the item template. So in the item template, alright, I was coding outside the repeater control, my bad. So inside the repeater control, I have the item template and the alternating item template. So item template is basically for each and every item, and if you set also an alternating item template, then all the alternating type items will have different colors. So what I'll do is, in the item template I'll simply create a table with style. I'll give some background color. Let's say I'll give it cyan, and there's no specific other thing that I want to give right now. I have now I need to display everything in multiple rows, like name. I have my name, my roll number, my photo, and everything like that. So I'll create a column. In the first, I'll create two columns. In the first column I'll display the column name, and the second column I'll display the value of that column. So for example, here I have roll number, and here I'll simply directly here I'll display. You can obviously put in text boxes or labels or anything you want, but here I'll just directly use the eval function to get any value that I want, eval, and I'm gonna pass the column name here. Do keep in mind that the column name should is case sensitive. So if you want to check in the database if what is your column name, so you can just go to your database and exactly match the column name that you have. So I'm just going to check if my column name says roll num. It says roll no, so I'm going to change it to roll no. Now I'll just copy this whole thing. Then I have student name. It is st name. Again paste. Then for example I want to display the photo. There is no order that you have to follow here, so that is nice. You can go in any order that you want. And then I'll display the username whose column name is uname. I'll just check if it is uname. Yep. And I don't want to display the password here, so I'll just leave it at this. And after this, after the item template, you need some kind of separator in between to identify one record from the other, to separate one record from the other. So for that, there is a template called separator template, and inside the separator template I'll just draw a horizontal ruler. So what it will do is it will draw a line from the left corner to the right, and it will separate this one record from the other. Now there is no loop in this, there is nothing like that of that sort. So you may be wondering how just a single table will iterate through all the records, but that is why the repeater control is used. By default it will go from the first to the last row and it will execute whatever there is in the item template. If we had an alternating type item template also, then for every other row, for every alternate row, it would have used that. So for example here the background color is this, and in the alternate item template the background color is green, then the records would be displayed as blue green like that. So now if I run this, you'll see that with the master page each and every record will be displayed as I had the thing on blue. It is showing with the background color blue. You can obviously change the formatting here. As you can see, again the photo is being shown as a text box, or you can say a direct text rather than an image. So what we will do is we will drag and drop an image control here, and instead of directly writing this eval function, we will write that in the image URL property of this. So now we have binded the image path with the image control. So if we run this now, it should directly display images rather than the text. Now I'll move on towards showing you the last part. Again, you can see the images are very big. You can obviously set the height and width of it. So again, now moving on towards the last part, that is how to check whether a person is logged in or not, and redirect him or her to the login page if he or she is not logged in. So for that, if you remember, we used the session variable in the login page code. Here we use the session variable. We set the session username is equal to username.text. So now what do we need to check? We need to check if this session variable is empty or not. If it is empty, then the user is not logged in. But if it is not empty, then the variable contains this username.text and the user is logged in. So what I will do is, on the page load event of every page that I need, for example, we have the page1.aspx.vb and the page 2. For both the pages, I'll go to the page events. On the page load event, I'll check if session username is equal to nothing, or you can write nothing, or you can write empty like this. Then response dot redirect back to login page.aspx. That's it. I'll just check. First of all, do check if the variable name is the same, username. This should match, otherwise it will create a problem. So if session username equals to empty, then redirect him or her to the login page. Same way, I'll just copy this inside the load event of this page and paste it. So now if you see, I directly run this program, I'll be redirected first to the login page, and then I'll be brought if I log in, I'll be brought back to the page2.aspx. So as you can see, here I'll log in again, and because on the login button we have the URL of this page 1, so it will bring us to the page1.aspx. Now you can obviously check on your own. You can delete, new, and edit the things. Student details here. Okay, I did miss one thing on how to link the pages. I said I forgot to mention this, but in the master page, I'm in the master page right now. In the link button, there's a property called postback URL, and whatever I need to do, I'll just link it to the pages that I want, page 1 and page 2. And for the logout button, logout, I'll leave this to you guys. You create a logout page, you create a page known as logout.aspx, and inside that what you need to code is, you just need to set the session username is equal to false. Just type this in, session username equal to nothing. You are just assigning it instead of checking or anything. You are just assigning it. So what it will do, it will do is it will destroy the session. There is no text left now anymore in this variable known as username, so it will destroy the session. So I'll leave that to you guys. You create a postback URL for the logout page. Whenever you click on it, even you can display a message if you want, display a message and assign the session variable with nothing. So that's it for this program. I guess I think this video is quite long now, and I have covered most of the part. I didn't cover each and every template, that is the insert item template I left out, but I think you can now work it out on your own, because it is the same thing. The query will be the same. It is already made up for you, and even if there are problems, then as I said, you can go to the query, part here and update query or insert query anywhere, and you can set the parameters by yourself if you want. So that's it for this video, guys. Do tell me if this helped you out, and if you want any videos on any other specific programs that are hard to understand, then I will make sure that I make a video on it. So thank you everyone, and I hope you learned something new and enjoyed the video. Thank you.